In this video, we're going to go over your bottom line. Now, what I mean by your bottom line is how much money will you walk away with once the deal closes. So I have two different ways that you can do this. The first way is an Excel worksheet, and that's what we're going to go through today. The second way is you can print out this document here and you can fill in the items by hand. You're going to have to do the calculations by hand, but watching the video on how we do it with the Excel worksheet, you'll understand how to fill this out by hand. So let's jump back over to the Excel worksheet. Now in the Excel worksheet, you'll notice that you have some blue shaded cells. These are the only ones that you need to fill out. I'm not locking the other ones and getting fancy or anything like that. Just don't mess with them because they all have different calculations in them. So all you need to do is fill out these blue cells here, and then that will fill out everything else. So we're going to start with your asking price. This is the amount that you're listing the home for. If you get a buyer to pay your asking price, God bless you, that is awesome. So let's put in $250,000 for this example. And you'll notice that some of these items already started filling in, and I'll go through those as we move through the video here. The next one is your buyer's agent's commission. Now if I'm listing a house for $250,000, I wouldn't go the full 3%. I would offer about 2 to 2.5%. So if I go to 2.5% here, that shows you that the commission amount at $250,000 is $6,250. You'll notice that it's already filled across here on your mid-range and your bottom line, so we're going to get to those in just a second. Now we have your commission filled out here. We have your closing cost filled out here. Now your closing cost is doing a calculation. If your home that you're listing is under $150,000, I'm going to assume 1.5% in closing cost. This is going to include your title insurance and your miscellaneous fees that you're going to have to pay at closing for the different documents and the document recordings. Now, the closing costs are going to vary state by state as well as municipality by municipality. So you'll need to get with your title company and your real estate attorney to understand your true closing cost. And you can overwrite that whenever you get that in here. But at $250,000, we're going to assume 1%. If it was under $150,000, we would assume 1.5%. Next, we're going to talk about the concessions due to the buyer. So say you're going to give them $500 for a flooring allowance. So you're going to type in $500 here. And you'll notice how this is populating across the board here. So no matter what price you sell at, that you're going to pay $500 across the board here. And your buyer's agent commission, it's going to stay the same no matter what your price is here. Now the mortgage payoff amount. This is the amount that you will owe the mortgage company at closing. It's awesome if you have your home paid off and you don't have to worry about that. Just leave that blank. However, most of us are going to have a mortgage that we need to pay off once we sell our home, and you can call your mortgage company and they can give you usually a 10-day payoff. Enter that information in here. That's going to change as time goes by. Luckily, it's not going to get higher. It's only going to get lower. So you have your mortgage payoff amount here, and so we're going to say we owe $220,000 on this mortgage. So you see that populated across here, and you'll notice over here now, so let's run through the calculations. So I get $250,000 for the home. That's what the buyer's going to pay me. I'm going to give the buyer's agent 2.5% or $6,250. So that's $250,000 minus the commission amount. And then the closing costs are going to be about $2,500. And so that's $250,000 minus $6,250 minus $2,500. The concessions due to the buyer at closing, so that's minus another $500. And the mortgage payoff amount, that is minus $220,000. So in that case, I'm going to walk away with almost $21,000 here. $20,000, $750. Now that we know that, we can go put our bottom line in our mid-range. So in this case, we can say, okay, for our bottom line, I know that I have about $20,000 to play with, so I can walk away not owing the bank anything. but I want to walk away with something. So let's say I want to walk away with $5,000. So in that case, my asking price, my bottom line could go down to $235. Now, one of the things that I'm assuming here, and remember back to our pricing lesson, is you should not use this spreadsheet to price your home for sale. The $250,000 should come from your research, or better yet, should come from an appraisal. But you're not always going to get asking price. And so you need to know how much below your asking price you're willing to accept. And so in this case, if I put $235,000 over here, again, all my calculations fill out here, the exact same as over here, and I'm going to walk away with $6,275. Now, it's good to know your top line and your bottom line. So in this case, this may be a range, $250,000 to $235,000. But I always like to put a mid-range in here. I like to go one step beyond and know, okay, I have it listed for $250. I'm pretty sure I won't have to go all the way down to $235. But I think in reality, I can get $242 for this home. So I'm going to type in $242. Now, again, that's going to auto-populate everything else here. And it's going to show me that I'm going to walk away with $13,000. Now, go ahead and save this worksheet to your computer because you'll want to come back and you'll want to play around with it, especially if you get offers. But this will make sure that you never dip below and go in the negative over here. So if I were to sell the home for $225,000, whoops, I'm in the red and I would have to bring about $3,000 to $4,000 to closing. I don't want that. So I want to go back up here to $235,000. Now I know the bottom line. I know my top line, that's going to be the asking price. I know the bottom line, so that's the least I'm willing to accept for the home. And that's going to tell me how much cash I'm going to walk away with. It's going to give me a rough estimate of my closing cost. Again, I can't emphasize enough to talk to your title company, talk to your real estate attorney to get those exact dollar amounts. Once you figure those out, you can just come in here and overwrite my calculation here, just putting the dollar amount in. I don't mind you doing that, but as long as you find those out for sure. So come in here, download this worksheet, play around with it, or go ahead and download and print out the other document, handwrite those in there, do the calculations manually, whatever you're more comfortable with, but make sure you know your bottom line before you start negotiating with a buyer. Good luck, and come over to the Facebook group if you have any questions.